After defeating Sauron, Tolin Garhoth has been cleansed of evil, and Morgoth's lieutenant has fled back to Angband. It is to Angband that you yourself now journey, as if you hope to win a Silmaril, you must confront Morgoth in the very seat of his power. As you approach the doors of Angband, you can see a terrifying guardian blocking your path. Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of The Line Unbroken, my progression-style playthrough of the Lord of the Rings living card game. Here I am continuing my journey through the Tales from the Cards custom First Age expansion with the second quest, Seat of Morgoth. So, we have the setup rules card here. The front side is just general first aid things. This is the quest-specific bit with the sneak keyword. During the travel phase, the players may choose an enemy in the staging area with the sneak keyword to be the active enemy. This follows the decision to travel. The active enemy no longer contributes its threat to the staging area. Players must still make engagement checks against it, however. During quest resolution, progress tokens are placed first on the active enemy, then the active location, and finally the quest stage. If a number of progress tokens equal to the active enemy's threat is placed on it, that enemy is discarded. Whenever any amount of progress is placed on the active enemy, the first player must pass a sneak test. The first player may discard any number of cards from their hand, adding up the costs of these cards. Then, the top card of the encounter deck is discarded. Compare the cost of the discarded player cards against the threat value of the discarded encounter card. If the cost is greater than or equal to the threat value, then the sneak attempt passes. If the cost is less than the threat value, then the sneak attempt fails. If a sneak attempt fails, the active enemy immediately engages the first player. Progress that was placed on the active location or quest is not affected. When engaged with an enemy with the sneak keyword, players may cancel all progress and instead place an equivalent number of damage tokens on enemies with the sneak keyword instead. So this will come up in a little bit. So, setup. Add for the Seat of Morgoth. Add Karkaroth to the staging area. Set Morgoth and all objectives and unique locations aside out of play. Set your threat equal to the number of heroes you control. So, that is of course 3 in each case. It's always struck me this is obviously similar to Shadow and Flame, where you set your threat to 0 at the start, and then Durin's Bane has an engagement cost of 1. Here, Karkaroth has an engagement cost of 4, and you set your threat equal to the number of heroes you control. So if I brought a 2 or 1 hero deck, then I'd have extra rounds before needing to deal with this wolf. The entrance to Angband is guarded by Karkaroth, the most fearsome wolf that has ever lived. If you hope to be successful in your quest, you must find a way past this fearsome servant of Morgoth. Forced. Skip the staging step during the quest phase. Instead, each player must discard the top card of his deck after committing characters to the quest. Add the cost of each discarded card to the total threat in the staging area until the end of the phase. If Karkaroth has 0 hit points, advance to stage 2 immediately. And look at Karkaroth here. He has X threat, 7 attack, 4 defense, 15 hit points, relentless, indestructible, cannot leave play. X is 5 times the number of players, and forced players cannot reduce their threat while Karkaroth is in play. This is obviously the significant point, because it means you can't cheese the quest as you can Shadow and Flame by just bringing a bunch of threat reduction. So, let us begin the quest. Control N. Alright, now I just want to play High Kingship of Noldor straight away onto Idril. Make her the High Queen of the Noldor, so that I smooth out the resources in this deck. And that's all that I'm going to do here. Over here I now have plenty of lore resources. So, do I want to get... I'm not that bothered about Ringil right now. I think I want to save up for Huor or Huan. But I will immediately spend 2 lore resources for a Green Elf Ranger. I suppose that's it. So, I skip the staging step. Instead, each player must discard the top card of his deck and add the cost of each discarded card to the total threat in the staging area until the end of the phase. Karkaroth himself contributes 10 threat. So, let's send 3, 6, 11, 14, 15, 16. I'm not really ready to engage Karkaroth. I really like the blue shield, but I don't have it. So let's just send everything. What was that? 3, 6, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17. And we discard Paladin Woodsman, 2. And Liga for 0. Well, that's no threat, but it's not a card that I'm very happy about losing. So I make 5 progress. And that's it for the round. I'm not engaging Karkaroth. And I'm not having any combat, therefore. So, get some more resources. And let's see. I'm going to have to deal with Karkaroth this round, which is unfortunate. And I don't have any healing, which is likewise unfortunate. My chances of actually killing Karkaroth rather than just questing past him are not great. So let's pay 3 for Huor. And that'll be it. Then let's get down one of these unexpected courages onto Fingolfin. And leaves it that. And quest for the same again. That was 17, wasn't it? Against 10 plus 2, 3. That's the card I wanted. So I make 4 progress. Engage Karkaroth here. And I'll take it undefended. If the defending character is an ally, which there is no defending character, and discard that character after the attack resolves. It's a nice shadow effect in that it's discard that character after the attack resolves, not just discard that character. Because it means that you don't get stuck with an undefended attack, but you still lose the character, which is obviously the intent. Who all will take the undefended damage. And that will be that. Once again. So, well, let's pay 3 for Hador. And that'll be it. Let's exhaust High Kingship. Pay 3 for Talcar the Smith, and I intend to advance the quest this round, which means I have to know that Karkaroth will go away, so I'm not so worried about defending him. 3, 6, 11, 13, 16, 17. I don't remember if any enemies will potentially come out, but since there's now no threat in the staging area, 17 versus 0. Another shadowy cloak gone. And another blue shield gone. This is terrible. So, only 3 threat. We advance the quest very easily. After using all the tricks at your disposal to get past Karkaroth, the underground fortress of Angband, the Hells of Iron, lies before you. To get to Morgoth, you will have to descend into a darkness filled with his dark servants, including some of the most powerful and terrifying creatures in Middle-earth. When revealed, remove Karkaroth from play. Add Pits of Angband, Thrall Quarters, and Tunnels of Shadow to the staging area. Each player must search the encounter deck and discard pile for one enemy, and add it to the staging area. So, Tunnels of Shadow, Pits of Angband, not Nethermost Hall, Thrall Quarters. And search for enemies. So, trolls, orcs. Yeah, let's grab an Angband Orc. In fact, let's grab 2 Angband Orcs. I skipped their doomed 1 since they're added to the staging area, not revealed. And that will do. There are several paths leading to the hall where Morgoth resides. If you have any hope of achieving the impossible task set before you, you must make wise choices and avoid the terrible foes lurking all around. Forced. After the first path location is explored, add Nethermost Hall to the staging area. Forced. After travelling to a unique location, players raise their threat by its threat. The players cannot advance unless Nethermost Hall is in the victory display. And these locations, Tunnels of Shadow, 1 threat, 20 quest points, path, immune to player card effects, they're all immune to player card effects. This location does not contribute its threat while it is in the staging area. While Tunnels of Shadow is the active location, the encounter deck is shuffled before discarding cards for a sneak test. And response. After Tunnels of Shadow leaves play, add Element of Surprise to the staging area. Thrall Quarters. Same stuff at the start. While it's the active location, add 1 to the threat of discarded encounter cards when resolving a sneak test. And response. After Thrall Quarters leaves play, add Dreadful Garments to the staging area. Pits of Angband. Same stuff at the start. Forced. The first enemy revealed each round gains Surge. And response. After Pits of Angband leaves play, add Angband Sword to the staging area. Now I'm not so bothered about the Dreadful Garments, but the others are very useful to have, especially the Angband Sword. I'd forgotten that forced effect, though really that should be a passive. And yes, we advance when we explore the Nethermost Hall. To travel there, we'll have to go find Gothmog, the captain of the Balrogs. So, alright, let's do I want to travel. Okay, I'm going to trigger Hador's ability. Discard him to reveal the top 5 cards of my deck and put up to 2 revealed allies with the Edine trait into play. Shuffle all other revealed cards back into my deck. So, top 5. Okay, so I'll take another copy of Hador and a Chieftain of Men. And I will also play Valiant Sacrifice to draw 2 more cards. So now, let's see. Travel. I suppose I really want to get all the Pits of Angband. Let's see, that makes sneak tests harder, but which is only a problem if I'm sneaking, which I may not be, but also I'm not that bothered about the Dreadful Garments. The Angband Sword is the one that I want the most, and I want to get rid of that forced effect. And now, okay, so... So this is a thing I'm slightly unclear on. Does the quest card effect count as an encounter card effect? So I'm going to travel to the Pits of Angband. So the quest card is part of the encounter deck, right? Therefore, this forced effect that causes me to raise my threat by the threat of this location when I travel to it is an encounter card effect, which is raising my threat, which allows me to discard Chieftain of Men to cancel that effect, instead of raising my threat by 10. I think that this is sound logic. I'm going to discard the Chieftain of Men, and strictly speaking, I cancel the effect, which means I cancel the entire effect, which would raise both players' threat. So I'm pretty sure this means that neither player now raises their threat for that effect. So, that's that. Now let's engage one of these Angband Orcs. Deal him a shadow card. Fingolfin will defend. No shadow effect. That takes 6 to kill him. 4, 5, 6. He's dead. And let's refresh for the round. Oh, I should have played and yet a warning. Well, I'm sure I'll kill something else soon enough. So now, let's pay 4 for Huan. And I guess that'll be it. Over here, let's pay 1 for Findwilas. And I guess that will be it. So, these don't count that threat while they're in the staging area, so there's only 2 threat in the staging area. Quest 3, 6, 11, 13, 15, 18, and let's see. Yep, I'm going to play Arts of Felagund. So each enemy will be discarded and replaced with the next encounter card instead. I assume that means I ignore all effects of the enemy, and thus I avoid them gaining Surge. And let's cancel the threat of the first location. So 11, 13, 15, 18. Clumsy Step doomed 2. Discard an additional encounter card when resolving sneak tests this round. If there is no active enemy, Clumsy Step gains Surge. Okay, so it gains Surge. This is discarded because of Arts of Felagund and replaced with the next card. Doomed 1. Each player must either discard 1 character or raise his threat by 5. I think I might use Test of Will on that at this point. Although I suppose I could take the threat raise, actually. Yeah, no, I'll take the threat raise in both cases. Still pretty low. That was all the first card of staging. This is discarded per Arts of Felagund, so it's this, and this, and this. Filth and Desolation. When revealed, each player must either deal... Oh, I still have that resource. Must either deal 1 damage to each character he committed to the quest, or reduce the willpower of each character he controls by 1 until the end of the round. Alright. So... not that fond of the damage idea. I would lose... effectively 6 willpower on the quest, so that's fine. I'm still questing for 12 against 2, which means that I make 10 progress. This goes to the victory display, which means I add Nethermost Hall to the staging area, and also the Angband Sword. Angband Sword, restricted. Attached hero gains +5 attack. Attached hero gains an additional +1 attack for each resource on Angband Sword. Action: attach Angband Swords to a hero. Place 1 corruption on that hero. Response: after attached hero deals damage, add 1 resource to Angband Sword. This is why this is incredibly helpful. And let's see. Nethermost Hall does counter threat while it's in the staging area, of course. I'd have to go find Gothmog if I want to travel there, so I might wait a bit first. So now the question is, do I want to bother with the Thrall Quarters to get the Dreadful Garments, or go for the Tunnels of Shadow, which will take me potentially longer to explore, but the element of surprise will come in handy. I think I'll go for the Tunnels of Shadow. I have to raise my threat, or both my threats, by 1 when I travel. I am going to place 1 corruption on Ecthelion and give him the Angband Sword. So he now attacks for 9 and ignores defense if he attacks alone. I'm going to discard Hador. Through the top 5 cards of my deck. Okay, there's only one Edine ally in there. But still. And sorry. I will pay 1 resource for Valiant Sacrifice and draw another 2 cards. Alright. Let's engage this Angband Orc. Shadow. Fingolfin will defend. Discard all event cards from your hand. So much for playing and yet a warning, but it could be worse. And then Ecthelion can kill this by himself. And actually, hang on, since I need to put resources on the Angband Sword, I'm going to just put it underneath Ecthelion like that. So that's the round. Let's refresh. Strength of Men. Nice. Kingship. Doesn't mean to play a card, so that Secret Paths there's no use on it. Alright, now let's play the Ring of Barra here, attach the new down hero, and then discard it to put a unique Noldor ally into play from my hand. Magwort. And over here, I suppose I'll play Ringgil for want of anything else to do. And at this point I'm going to attach Huan to Baron as a mount attachment. So now there is 5 threat in the staging area, so if the thrall quarters don't count their threat. That's quest 3, 6, 11, 13, 16, 19. Cancel the threat of the first enemy. Actually no, I'll say location again. Well, not cancel, reduce by 3. So 19. Okay, Troll takes 2 damage from Huan. And Devouring Spirit. When revealed, attached to the enemy and play with the lowest threat. Attached enemy gets +1 threat, +1 attack, +1 defense, and +3 hit points. So that goes on to the Troll. Now, I'm going to... How much attack is the sword giving to Octhelian? 6. Yeah, I'm just going to keep track of his actual attack value with the sword. So 10. Right, this does add 1 threat, so I've added 3 threat, and I make 11 progress. Now, +3 hit points, meaning it has 10 hit points left with the 2 damage. Ecthelium can kill it in 1 hit, though I will take some damage in defending it. It's probably still a good idea. The fact that I lost 2 blue shields so fast is a serious issue there. Deal 1 damage to each character controlled by the engaged player. And then Fingolfin takes a further 3 damage from the attack. And so, okay. Well, let's pay 3 for an Ardgalen horse. And see, there are conditions, so I'm not sure that I want to play this Mine of the Iron Hills just yet, but I do kind of want to have a potential chump available. So here we go, Mine of the Iron Hills. And here, let's see, maybe Right Expected Courage could be handy. Or I could play Howden Woodsman. I'm potentially getting to the point where this deck could actually handle some combat with Halden Woodsman, so okay, I'll play another Halden Woodsman, and then we're definitely getting towards that point. And so let's quest again. 3, 6, 11, 13, 16, 18, 20, 23. Cancel the threat of the first location still. 23 versus 5. Foolish Ruckus. Raise the threat of the active enemy by 3 until the end of the phase. If there is no active enemy, raise the threat of all enemies in the staging area by 1 until the end of the phase. Okay. So this has 3 threat rather than 2. Yep. And doomed 1. But that still means I'm questing for 23 against 8. I make 15 progress, which is enough to explore the tunnels of shadow. Can't put progress on here. And add the element of surprise to the staging area. Action, attach element of surprise to a hero. Combat action, exhaust element of surprise. Player attacks are made before enemy attacks this phase. So let's give that to Ecthelion. And now do I want to bother with the Thrall Quarters? I don't think that I do, really. So do I go to the Nethermost Hall, or do I stall a bit longer? I suppose Gothmog has a pretty high engagement cost, so... But this blocks me going to any other locations before I advance to stage 3, so I might just stall a bit. Oh yeah, this should have taken 2 damage from Huan. Yeah. Sure, there are locations in this encounter deck. Yeah, there's one. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer. Let's engage this. Exhaust element of surprise, and attack, and oh, sorry, I do deal a shadow card. But then Ecthelion attacks and kills, and he's up to 12 attack. Yeah. Oh, Baron should have gotten an extra resource as well. Because thanks to that treachery, the Orc was 3 threat. So, alright, let's pay 3 for Hador. And over here, I'm swimming in more resources. But I have nothing to do with them. So, there's really not a lot to be concerned about. Over here, let's just 5, 8, 10, 13, 13 versus 5. I have no need to make any progress at all. Troll. Oh, Troll attacked earlier. This deck should have raised my threat by 3. There we go. And Devouring Spirit again. Alright. So we'll attach that. And the Troll took 2 damage. So that's fine. Still stalling out. Exhaust element of surprise. Kill the Troll. See, locations, they do exist. Ecthelion is up to 13 attack. If I'd known that I was going to end up doing this, I would have actually brought some threat reduction so that I could just turtle forever. And now let's put an unexpected courage onto Finrod. And quest 11, 13, 16 versus 5. A location! Okay, this will potentially get me more locations when I make progress. I don't mind that. Evil Lust. Cancel the condition attachment with the text. This hero must be declared as the defender against Morgoth, even if exhausted. Morgoth uses his threat to attack, and the attached hero uses his willpower to defend. Limit 1 per hero. Yep, this is something I probably want to avoid. This is why I have Miner of the Iron Hills, but I may as well just cancel it at this point. And let's just exhaust the Ardgalen Horse for the progress here. Discard the top card of the encounter deck. It's a location, which is added to the staging area. Okay, right, that's well, it's the active location. That's fine. I can just explore it in the staging area with my horse. Travel to the labyrinthine stairs. No combat. Go then. Aha, Daron. Now this is a 2-threat location. Do I have any allies to retrieve? No. I need a 3-threat location. Let's see. No, that was discarded and added, not revealed, so Baron did not gain resource for it. And there's nothing to play over here. Here, let's play Daron. Exhaust him to draw 2 cards. And discard 1. I think I'll get rid of Secret Paths. Play the Dwarf of the Blue Mountains, which has an extra 1 hit point, because Ringil is unique. That's the only unique attachment I've got. Gangband Sword, not actually unique. And that's quest. 3, 6, 11, 13. 16. I actually need to make progress now. There's 9 threat in the staging area. Oh, there's 16. I do remember to discard a card. Cancel threat of a location. $19. Right, okay, raise the threat of all enemies in the staging area by 1 until the end of the phase. This has its threat reduced by Green Elf Ranger. So I've added no threat. Now I make 10 progress, which explores this, and I trigger the forced effect on here. That is not a location, so it's discarded. So then let's travel to the labyrinthine stairs and exhaust my horse to put a progress on the echoing corridor. Ready up again. I definitely do need to actually advance at some point. It's getting to the point where I think I'm ready. Probably. So let's Daron. I think I might discard Arts of Felagund, because I don't really need it that much. It would be helpful if I could remember the stats of Gothmog, but I can't. And okay, I guess I'm gonna have to wait a bit before playing Bale, because I want to make sure I still have a test of will available. So let's quest 3, 6, 11, 13, 16, 19. Cancel the threat of location. Do 2. And against Surge. Do 1. Either discard 1 character or raise threat by 5. I might just cancel that actually. Threat is starting. Actually, no. It's each player. So I'll discard a Miner of the Iron Hills. I can get it back when we explore this location, thanks to Idril. I have no shortage of lore resources. And I suppose I can deal with losing a woodsman. So that was all the first card. Yes, Clumsy Step, which surged into Heroic Diversion. And Gothmog. Okay. Well, he takes 2 damage from Huan. And his threat is reduced by 3. No, I said location, didn't I? I said location. Okay, let's exhaust this to put a progress on the Echoing Corridor. I've added 5 additional threat. So I'm only actually making 5 progress, which is not enough to explore the location. So I guess I'll play Secret Paths because I want to get this done well. Actually, no, yes. Secret Paths. So I do explore the Labyrinthine Stairs. I trigger the forced effect on the Labyrinthine Stairs. Orc Armory turns up. And I can trigger Idril to return the Miner of the Iron Hills to my hand. Now, once the active location, all enemies lose the sneak keyword. After it's explored as the active location, the first player attaches it to a hero. That the attached hero gains +1 attack and +1 defense. How much is it going to take to kill Gothmog? Uh, 27. I can't quite manage 27. I can kill Gothmog in 2 rounds, but not 1. Of course, I could also choose to just sneak past Gothmog rather than killing him. Because I need Nethermost Hall to be in the victory display in order to advance, but it says nothing about Gothmog. I'd have to add him to the staging area when I travel to Nethermost Hall, but I don't have to kill him. I can sneak past him. It requires discarding cards from hand for the sneak test. Don't have stuff that I'm so happy to discard on this side. Baron should have gotten the resource when Gothmog was revealed. And the Orc Armory. No, wait, the Orc Armory was discarded and then added. The important distinction. So, don't want to try and kill Gothmog. I think it's not out of the question that I could. And he doesn't have nasty effect while he's engaged, like some of the enemies do. Alternatively, okay, so maybe... Yeah, I kind of want to get this Orc Armory. Yeah, I really kind of want to get this Orc Armory. So... yeah, so maybe I will... travel to the armory and not engage Gothmog, and then probably next round I will go to the Nethermost Hall and advance the quest. The round after that. Yeah. Okay, Morwen. That's handy. Down. I don't really need to get a warning that much. Now let's take Baal maybe. But Morwen would be very nice. I'm going to give myself a bit more space over here. If I could find my Oath of Friendship, Oaths of Friendship, that would be very helpful. I might just discard Hador for the third time, because I've still got a reasonable number of Yadain that I could bring in with that. Just seems a waste if I'm not using his action. I suppose I'll quest with him first and then do it. So... I guess that means this deck is not playing anything, and this deck will play the second Green Elf Ranger. And it would also play Huor. There is 14 threat in the staging area, but I can get rid of the Echoing Corridor with the Arcadian Horse. So effectively there will only be 10 threat in the staging area. 3, 6, 11, 13, 16, 19. Cancelling enemy and location. Do I want a little bit more than that? Oops. Oh, yeah, I was going to say Hador. 21. Might as well make it 23. And we reveal Foolish Ruckus. Okay, raise the threat of all enemies in the staging area by 1 until the end of the phase. And deal with that. Echoing Corridor, bearing every resource. And that's it, so that's another 4 threat, but then I will exhaust the Arcadian Horse. Meaning that we have the same threat that we started with. So I make 9 progress. The Orc Armor is explored, so first player attaches it to a hero. The attached hero gets +1 attack and +1 defense. I'm going to attach it to Ecthelion. Doesn't say you have to attach it to a hero you control, so this is totally fine. Oh yeah, that actually had its threat reduced by 3 as well. So Ecthelion is now 14 attack and 4 defense. Now I'll discard Hador. Look at the top 5 cards of my deck. Okay, I found a Chieftain of Men. And let's travel to the Nethermost Hall. And after traveling to a unique location, players raise their threat by its threat. Let's do the same thing again. Discard a chieftain of men to cancel that effect. Uh, 27, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's close, but not enough. Let's control, so I can't cross-table it. Oh, and I just explored a 3-threat active location, so I can return Huor to my hand. Alright. So, let's Derum. Okay, and I'll discard Ringil. Pay 2 for that Gondolin Guard. And now, let's pay 3 for Melian, and declare that enemies cannot attack me until the end of the round. And on this side, let's pay 3 for Morwen. And we take that. So, there is 9 threat in the staging area. Actually, let me just check. I think I've had all 3 copies of Hador. Yep, all 3 on the discard pile. Right, so... Nine threat in the staging area. Conquest for 3, 6, 11, 13. 16, 19, 23. I need 7 progress. Cancelling, well, reducing by 3 the threat of the first enemy and location. So, it deals damage, not just kills. Yeah, I'm probably overdoing this, really. So I'm not sure what else to do, so let's reveal Trackless Cavern. Okay, that's handy. And Orc Armory. So I'll exhaust the Ardgalen Horse. And progress on these. I've added this, had its threat reduced by 3 with the Green Elf Ranger. The Orc Armory added a resource to Baron. So I've added 3 threat. I make 11 progress, which explores the Nethermost Hall, and advances me to stage 3 of the quest, the greatest deed. You have come at last to Morgoth's Hall. Through the open doors you can see a scene which seems to be woven from nightmares. Twisted pillars rise to unfathomable heights, while smoke and flame cast a ghoulish light. Wolves, serpents, and the many minions of Morgoth sit about the room. On a throne of iron is Morgoth himself, a group of bloody and dying captives at his feet. On his head is a crown, and through the smoke and flame and darkness the light of the Silmarils shines bright. Somehow you must free a Silmaril from the crown of the most powerful being in Middle-earth. You must use magic, deception, or brute force to achieve this greatest deed. When revealed, add Morgoth to the staging area and attach Silmaril to him. Response: after questing successfully, you may place progress tokens on Morgoth as damage instead of placing them on the quest. The players cannot advance to the next stage unless they control the Silmaril objective. So Morgoth has 8 threat, 15 attack, 9 defense, 40 hit points, he's indestructible, cannot leave the staging area, and is considered to be engaged with each player. No trap attachments can be attached to Morgoth. Forced at the end of the round, each player must place 2 corruption among characters he controls. So, let's see. I would like to go to this Orc Armory. And now deck 2 is going to optionally engage Gothmog. So, because of Melian, neither Morgoth nor Gothmog is relentless, so neither of them will attack this deck. Morgoth will still attack this deck, and he still gets shadow cards, of course. So 1 shadow card for attacking each deck. But this one is not going to do anything, and this is not going to do anything. Here, I will take Morgoth's attack undefended. So, Findulas dies. I raise my threat by 2. And that's that. Oh, so of course the Silmaril. If Morgoth has 0 hit points, I can exhaust a hero to claim the Silmaril. So now, I can attack. So Icthalion attacks for 14 at the moment. What's the point? How much damage can I deal at a time? I could really do with having an unexpected courage on Ecthelion, rather than just the one on Fingolfin, who's actually not really using it. How much attack do I have? 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I could put 17 damage onto Gothmog. Or 12 damage onto Morgoth. But I'm probably just going to try and quest Morgoth to death, primarily. So what was that? 21. I put 17 more damage on Gothmog. And I put a resource on the Angvan Sword, increasing Ecthalion's attack. So let's discard these shadows. And bring it up again. Yep, Melian is gone. Use Daron to draw 2. Discard Takar the Smith. Play another copy of Findulas for 1. Over here, let's stick Fingolfin on his horse. So I have plenty of resources to spare. And Well, let's see. Yeah, I want to play Melian again, because Gothmog is not dead yet. Once again, enemies cannot attack this deck until the end of the round. Secret of Craft. How many items do I control? This is an item. This is not an item. Item. Mount. So I control 2 items. I could have this deck draw another 2 cards. I think I'm going to do that. And technically I'll do it in a different order so that in fact I can immediately play this Oath of Friendship and search for the other one. And play that as well. So one goes onto Idril and the other goes onto Luthien. So I can shuttle these resources around. Right. And of course I will then shuttle a couple of them over to Luthien to play Bale, then turn him into a vassal attachment to give Finrod an extra 2 points of willpower, and then shuttle over another 2 to play another copy of Bale, and shuttle over another 2 to play Unexpected Courage onto Ecthelion. And I still have the one for Test of Will. Let's shuttle over one more so that I have access to both copies of Test of Will. Alright. How much threat is in the staging area? 8, 9, 13. Though I'm going to explore the Echoing Corridor, so it'll actually be less. 3, 6, 11, 13. Oh! At the end of the round, each player must place 2 corruption among characters he controls. So, it's obviously only characters I controlled at the time. Let's just put 2 on Luthien. And over here, I still had Melian at the time, so I would have put both on her and then discarded her at the end of the round. This is fine. So, 3, 6, 11, 13. 16, 18, 20, 23, cancelling enemy location, 27, reveal, Subterranean Furnace. Threat is reduced to 0 by the Green Elf Ranger. Baranged is a resource. Okay, so I'm not particularly keen to travel there. And Evil Lust. Yeah, that would be. Well, do I have. I have Miner of the Iron Hills in my hand, so I won't waste a Test of Will on this. So let's just attach it to Idril. And that'll be that. So I've added no threat to the staging area. Exhaust my horse to place some progress, removing 4 threat from the staging area. And let's see, how many Noldor did I quest with? Only 3, but still if I exhaust Morwen, that would give me, for Strength of Men, that would give me another 9 willpower. I'm making 18 progress, 2 will go on here, and then 16 will go on Morgoth as damage. So putting that up to 25. If I trigger Morwen's ability, raising my threat by a couple of points. I could even make it 29 damage. Yeah, let's do that. 1, 2, 3. Strength of men. And raise my threat by 2. So that's adding an extra 15 willpower. Because with the boost from Finrod and the boost from her own ability, I've got her up to 5 willpower, and I'm adding that to Maglor, Finrod, and Finrod. So I make 33 points of progress. Wait. What did I quest for? 3, 6, 11, 13, 16, 18, 20, 23, 27. And then added 15, yeah, which is 42. There is only 9 threats in the staging area that counts, this being reduced by Green Elf Ranger. So yeah, 33, which means actually 31 damage goes on Morgoth. Don't have to deal with his defense when doing this. And this is explored as the active locations, so I will of course attach it to Ecthelion, giving him another point of attack, so he attacks for 16 now. Let's travel to the Trackless Cavern. Oh, I just explored a 3-threat active location, so I will return Melian to my hand. Now, Morgoth and Gothmog do not attack this deck. Only one shadow card left, though it does go on the attack over here. However, Morgoth is not relentless. I'll play Feint. So he does not attack this deck, and he does not attack this deck. Gothmog does not attack this deck. Ecthelion is attacking for 16, ignores defense when he attacks alone, so that will kill Gothmog. Another resource, another point of attack, so now he attacks for 17. Yeah, this is just a combat action, so I think it doesn't count against my normal limit of 1 attack. So, okay, I will then have Ecthelion attack Morgoth as well. So 48 damage on Morgoth out of his 40 hit points. He has 0 hit points, so the Silmaril is available. Finrod will exhaust to claim it. Oh no, wait. As soon as I do that, I advance the quest. Oh no, I don't, because I need to have 1 progress. Yes, so. And then I will use Rock'n'Roar and Fingolfin, so he attacks into the staging area. No, that doesn't help at all. If I could attack for a bit more than 5, then I could use Ringil to lower my threat, but don't have enough. So, this is discarded. At the end of the round, each player must place 2 corruption among characters he controls. So let's put 1 on Bayor and 1 on Finrod. And let's put both of them on Melian, who is then discarded. And control that. So, Daron. Or I'll discard the spare copy of Daron. Exhaust my kingship. I will now play this Miner of the Iron Hills, discarding Evil Lust. Just in case I don't clear the quest right away. I should have played Endless Warning when I killed Gothmog, never mind. I clearly damaged Morgoth, so the Angband Sword happened again. I think that's it for this deck. And over here, well, let's pay 2 for the Ring of Barra here on Baron, and then discard it immediately to bring Caranthir into play. So, there is 11 threat in the staging area. Yeah, okay. I am going to use the Oath of Friendship to transfer a couple of resources. Major to Luthien. 3 resources actually. And then in the quest phase, I'm going to use Luthien's ability. So I exhaust Luthien and pay 2 resources from my pool to place an enemy face down with 4 resources instead of the enemy is unique. That enemy is considered to be out of play for all purposes, except victory and advancement conditions, until the end of the phase. So I pay 4 resources. Since Morgoth is unique, he's out of play, removing his 8th threat, which is more valuable than actually questing with Luthien's 5 willpower. So there's 3 threat in the staging area. Plus 3, 6, 8, 12, 15, cancel block using enemy invocation. Up to 15, I have to make 7 progress. So another 2. Yeah, that should be alright. 20 versus 3. Okay, Doomed 1. But its threat is reduced to 0 by Green Elf Ranger. Threat is also reduced to 0 by Green Elf Ranger. So that's all fine. After it loses play, each player reduces threat by 5. So 29 and 28. I control the Silmaril, so I can advance. See the light. Against all odds, you have cut a Silmaril loose from Morgoth's crown and hold it in your possession. However, all of Angband is in an uproar, and you must climb back to the light if you hope to survive with your prize. Morgoth himself does not pursue, preferring the safety of his hall, but his servants will stop at nothing to win back the Silmaril. When revealed, remove Morgoth from play. Because technically he was already out of play, since him being in play is not actually an advancement condition, but yeah. Add Karkaroth to the staging area, removing any damage that was previously placed. The sound of pounding footfalls, cracking whips, howling wolves, and terrifying roars surrounds you. The ground itself trembles with the anger of Morgoth and the violence of the pursuit. Above, you can make out the faint glimmer of light that promises escape and safety. However, Karkaroth still remains to block your exit. All enemies lose the sneak keyword. If the players defeat this stage or Karkaroth has 0 hit points, the players have won the game. So, alright. I have to deal with this Iron Man Orc, and I have to deal with Karkaroth. I'm not going to bother to travel. Let's option engage the Orc, and Karkaroth will come down naturally. We deal out shadow cards. I will exhaust the element of surprise. Player attacks are made before enemy attacks during this phase. Ecthelion attacks for 18. Ecthelion attacks for 19. Karkaroth does not count as defense, and it wouldn't matter if he did. Also, I could 0 his defense with the Silmaril. So, Karkaroth has 0 hit points, and I have won the game. Yeah. I definitely had some serious luck in that playthrough, to be honest. Because, of course, that Arts of Felagund right near the start. Oh, no, not that one. The one that's in the victory display. Yeah, that Arts of Felagund that I played dumped a load of the enemies, which I otherwise... Well, I wouldn't have had to deal with them, but I would have had to... Well, I would have had to deal with them in some way, either by just leaving them in the staging area and constantly questing past their threat, or by actually using the sneak keyword to make sneak attempts, which I was prepared to do. I had some spare cards that I could have discarded. No. And obviously Idril could get allies back if those were what I discarded, but as it turned out, I discarded so many of the horrible enemies at the start that really never came up for the rest of the game. If it had, I would have had a much more difficult time. And then, of course, I ended up just stalling for several rounds until I thought I was ready to take on Morgoth and Gothmog. And of course, it's kind of funny that Morgoth and Gothmog aren't relentless. But, you know, whatever. It obviously worked in my favour. And Ecthelion with the Angband sword gets pretty ridiculous. So, I have retrieved the Silmaril. Karkaroth is about to bite off Finrod's hand and run off with the Silmaril. But, never mind that. So I've achieved the greatest deed, and I'll be moving on to Hunting of the Wolf next. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.